back to Morning Express this Friday. Glad you're watching the show. Martyn the psalmist is with me in studio ahead of top of the hour. Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you.
You too. You too.
So Martyn the psalmist, how did that come about? The psalmist sounds like psalms.
Yeah, something close. Well, it's a funny story. My first album was called it Chronicles of the Psalmist, which means a journey. So after a while, the name of the album stuck with people's heads. So it was easier, instead of them calling me Martyn, they called me the psalmist. So it just stuck, and I didn't have a name then. So I picked it up. It stuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did your journey begin with music?
Well, immediately after school, that's about the time I felt music is a thing I want to pursue. So at that time I was living in the town in Nakuru. That's where I grew up most of my formative years. Right. Then I met a producer then, Chris Adwar. He was producing a certain team in Nakuru. I came to Nairobi. That's where I started. He did one of my tracks, which was never released. Basically, that's how it is. Story of my life. But that's how I started. Then I joined a certain choir where I've been, singing as a vocalist for a number of years. Then I actually came to join music commercially around 2006, 2007. That's when I produced my first album.
Okay. So it's been several years.
Yeah.
Is it a passion that you had early on when you were young, or is it as you grew up decided, this is something I like, I'm into, I could pursue?
Well, I think you're a witness when people are small, they have these bigger than life dreams, want to be a doctor, a pilot. But when you get to, you start getting older is when you start realizing what you really want to do. So when I was growing up, I really liked music, but I didn't think I'll pursue it as something, seriously. So it was until later on, like after high school, is when I thought, I'm writing a lot about stuff. I think I should, pursue it. So when I gave my hand into it, basically it worked, and and I like to sing, so it kind of worked for me. Okay.
So how would you describe the kind of music that you do? What genre?
My genre is Afro pop. Is a mixture of African, Zouk, a bit of R&B here and there. It's just a mixture of many genres. I like to experiment a lot. It depends how inspiration comes, but mostly is the general way I can call it is Afro pop. Afro pop. Afro pop.
So when you sit down, you write your music, right?
Yes, I do.
What inspires for each particular song? Maybe take us through one of them that you'd say would be an interesting experience that led you to write a certain song.
Okay. Like my latest song, Double Double. Everybody goes through something in life, and there are many other people who are in the same position you are in yesterday, but they don't know how you got to make it to today. So what usually musicians do, or what usually me as a psalmist do, I just take a part of my experience, put it down into, put some inspiration, put some, prayer into it, hear what God is saying about it, and, write it into music and produce it. And when somebody hears it, it makes more sense because it has bits and pieces of their life as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest highlight for you so far in your career?
Biggest highlight, well, is recognition, definitely. When you're in this game for a while and you keep you keep at it, and nobody probably hears your music, knows who you are, or whatever. That's really a challenge for most of the people who are coming up in the game. But when you make something that impacts somebody, I think that's the greatest impact for me. Not even being known or whatever. It's just making good music that people both locally and internationally can appreciate. So basically that's it for me. That's what works. Yeah.
Some of the songs you have in the album, quite a number of them, Praise You, There's Our God. So gospel artist?
That was Praise You was in the first album. Right now I'm about to launch my second album, so there was the first album had like 14 tracks. That was a very experimental album, because that time I didn't know what my niche was. I didn't understand my sound. I was just believe it or not, I did hip hop as well. It's crazy, but you know, in your journey in music, you grow as well. So you realize what works, what doesn't, what you sound better in, you know, that kind of thing. So it took me a number of years after the first album to really understand what my sound is. And, you know, after a while I got it, and, you know, I'm at it now.
You're at it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Music, is it what you make your living from, or you have another side hustle?
No. Well, I work. Music is, I say I work from 8 to 5, but music is my full-time job. You understand me? So this is what I do, whether I'm paid for it or not. You know, I also partly make a living out of it, because, you know, we're here selling albums and doing shows and whatever. So, you know, it's partly an income generator. You know what I'm saying? But I do it for the love. You know, for the love of music. I don't really, you know what I'm saying, I'm not motivated because it earns me money. It's because I have a love for it.
It's a passion.
Yeah.
As we bring this to a close, in terms of what it is that goes into making an album, you're into your second one now. How much work goes into that? How easy or hard would you say is it? It's
never easy, man. It's never easy. Music is, you gotta be inspired by something. You can't just sit and think, let me make a hit record. You gotta have an objective. You gotta have a message you want to pass through. For me, you know, it's not as hard as it began right now, but it's, you know, I just think of a message I want to communicate. Sometimes it may be something I might need to sit down and write about it, or something that comes to me as inspiration, you know what I'm saying? So I'll just, you know, write it, put it together, get to the studio, get it done. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And what does the future hold in as far as your music is concerned? What is it you're planning other than your second album? More concerts, performances? What Absolutely. There's a lot in store. In this album, I've collaborated with a couple of acts from all over the continent, Nigeria, Uganda, the US. You know, I'm looking forward to working with a number more artists to get, you know, to get my style of music out there, and also so that the message is not just limited in Africa. We can, you know, we can do it, you know, whatever the music is a universal language. So when you do something that can be universally accepted, it becomes better for you and better for the message you're trying to communicate. All right. That's what. Martyn, the psalmist, thank you for being with us on Morning Express. Hope our producer can get one of your songs and it can play towards the end of the show. Yeah, sure. It would be amazing to have a listen at that. Thank you, and we wish you the best. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Martyn, the psalmist, with us in studio. We're taking a short break. When we return, Joy Chelagat is with us for our social media chat, which we will have as well. After that, we'll have the Friday chat coming up with the Tukuza team. Must watch. Don't go away.